Boulevard in Bellingham and the new location in North Smithfield at 200 Industrial Drive. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 76 degrees and a breeze from the west. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 58. Sunday, a cloudy day, high of 72. 70% chance of showers, up to a quarter of an inch of rain is possible Sunday. Monday, mostly sunny skies and 76. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 76 again. Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 80, calm wind. Thursday, mostly sunny and 84. And on Friday, mostly sunny, high of 85.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 77.2 degrees. And hello and welcome to Kevin's Sports Show. I'm Kevin Callahan. This morning we will have Providence College Athletic Director Steve Napolillo joining us. If you have a question for Steve, please feel free to call 766-1240. Steve's agreed to take questions should you have any for the Providence College Athletic Director. After Steve, we'll be talking, there's a lot going on this week. Boston Celtics, Boston Red Sox, losers last night. 7-2 to the Chicago White Sox, ending their 14-game losing streak. Stanley Cup opens up tonight in Edmonton for Game 1. There's Caitlin Clark news, as you might expect from the week. But let's get things rolling right away, and let's bring in Providence College Athletic Director Steve Napolillo. Steve, are you there?
No, you didn't select it. Go.
Hi, Steve, are you there?
Kev, how you doing this morning?
Oh, great, Steve. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in, calling in this morning. I really appreciate it.
No, it's always good to catch up with an old friend, and wish we could still catch a Boston Sox team in Rhode Island, but that's a different story.
You can't. You probably can't see it right now, Steve, but I am wearing my Paw Sox shirt right now, so it's always near and dear to me. And I worked there in the 80s and early 90s, and then back in the early 2000s when I met you there as well. So, well, let me start off by saying it's a couple weeks early, Steve, but happy anniversary as coming up on 2 years as Providence College's athletic director. Congrats.
Yeah, it's crazy, Kev, how time flies. Just blessed to be in this position, and excited to go into my third year. A lot has gone on, but as we just said, there's things that you cherish, such as the Paw Sox and Providence College Athletics. I know means so much to so many people. So to have this position, I wake up every day and know how much it means to so many people, and I don't take that for granted.
I mean, I grew up a Providence College basketball fan going back in the 70s with my older brothers and, my dad, watching the games. And, PC basketball, as you know, if there was ever a major league sport in Rhode Island, Providence College basketball is it.
It is pretty incredible to see, even as we get ready for next season. Season tickets are sold out, putting the plans together, the excitement everywhere I go. Coach English has done a phenomenal job. He's been perfect fit for Providence College, the community, and the state. Women's basketball, Coach Bath is on the rise. And obviously hockey, we want to get back to win a national championship, and Coach Lehman's determined to do that.
I'm a huge fan of Coach Lehman. I was in attendance when PC won the national championship in Boston that night several years ago. Exciting, and the respect that Coach Lehman has. I mean, he was the coach of the USA under 20 World Hockey Team a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's one of the brightest minds in the game of hockey. I think. When you look at when you win at that level, people always say, you got it going, but you talk to anybody, you become the hunted, and it's a challenge, but, he has an amazing recruiting class. He's got solid pieces coming back, and it's going to be another fun year at Schneider Arena.
Oh, that's great. If you do have any questions for Steve, feel free to call 401-766-1240. That's 401-766-1240. Steve, next question for you. You took over for Bob Driscoll. Bob was in his position of power for 21 years. I imagine not the easiest footsteps to follow.
think it's, anytime you have an opportunity to work for someone, of Bob's caliber, and you get to watch day in, day out, the decisions he made, the good ones, the ones you learn from, that's a huge benefit. And we were able to build something together for many years. So I'm grateful I had that opportunity. I'm grateful that I was along on that journey with him. I learned a lot that I take every day to work. And as I always say, the biggest thing I love is that he supported me getting the job when he had decided to retire. So you always, in any role of leadership, in any position in the workforce, when you have someone you can learn from, when you have a mentor, that's a real gift that you don't take for granted.
So, so that makes your transition as seamless as possible, I would imagine, when you talk about a mentor like that and Bob Driscoll.
Well, I think any time, and no matter what you talk about, especially in the sports industry, is when you're going from an assistant coach, when you're going from an administrator to an AD, there's always a transition period as a leader, because you have so many people who report to you, so many people looking at you, especially in our job where the public can see when you're making decisions, see what you do. You're growing every day, and you're growing to get better. But I think when you do it for a long time, and I had the opportunity to do it somewhere I love, I had the opportunity to work at the Paw Sox and learn there. You're using every single opportunity for growth to make you the best you can be, and that's what I did with Bob, and that was through the good times and the bad times, because in these positions you have to be prepared to celebrate the good times to get you there, but you also have to be ready when you have challenging times.
Great. You are listening to Steve Napolillo, the Providence College Athletic Director, joining us here on ON Radio. Steve, this past year, I wonder if, not just in hoops and hockey, but in all sports, I mean, you had 3 brand new coaches for you this year. Could you recap this, this past year? I mean, I know a lot happened. I'm asking you to do it in a short period of time. But what was this last year like? Especially, you had a new men's coach. We all know the story, what happened there. You had the new women's coach. You also had a new softball coach. So how did this past year go for you? Was it challenging? Was it fun? Was it, please describe.
Well, I mean, the most important decisions you'll make as an athletic director is hiring the people and the correct ones that fit into what Providence College is, what it stands for, and the impact they'll have on your student athletes. And obviously, you want successful programs. And the first one was Coach Bobby Benson, our lacrosse coach. He's building something special in that program. I really seen some significant strides, and excited. He's an incredible player. He's a really down-to-earth guy, and loves the game of lacrosse. So I'm excited where that program will go. Obviously, Coach English, being such a high-profile story, to have him come in and just to see, how the student-athletes, the recruits, want to play for him. And, you saw even with some injuries this year of how he still galvanized that team that I really thought was an NCAA tournament team.
I agree.
And the impact, the impact that he had on Devin Cotter. And, I'm really excited. And Devin could be a top 10 pick come June 26th in the NBA. Coach Bass has totally re-energized the women's basketball program. I've said many times I believe that's a sleeping giant, and I think she's the correct person to do that for Providence College women's basketball. And then our new women's coach, softball coach, Coach Kelsey, she's come in with incredible attitude, really building that from the ground up, and I'm really excited to see how the young women have really galvanized around her as well. So, yeah, great days ahead. Love the people who've come in, and that's the biggest key. We always say Providence College is a great school. The student-athletes love it. As athletic director, I have to make sure I bring the best coaches, retain the best coaches, because that's the key component of when student-athletes are choosing where to go, besides with the new name, image, and likeness that we deal with.
Yeah, that's another issue that, when you started at Providence College many years ago, NIL was never even on your radar at the time, and now it's just a huge component of everything, right?
Well, I think I always this is what I tell my team: control what you can control.
Sure.
We don't control the rules that are made in the NCAA and how we have to do it. The only thing we can control is how do we adapt and how we attack them. And for every challenge, I look at it as an opportunity, because we have a great school, we have great facilities, we have great fans. We need to make sure we're aggressive in this landscape, which we are, and we need to be a leader. I tell everybody, there's no time for excuses. There's no time for complaining. We have to make sure we're doing what we can do to support our coaches, to make sure we're given the tools and resources to compete in this new landscape, and we will, and we'll continue to do it.
Great. Steve, I have to take a commercial break. Are you willing to stick around for one more segment?
You got it, Kev.
All right, great. You're listening to Kevin's Sports Show here on WOON AM and FM. Currently, I'm with Steve Napolillo, the Providence College Athletic Director, who will join us for our next segment. We'll be back right after this message.
ON Radio.
The latest Buick and GMC models, as well as used cars, trucks, and SUVs, can be found at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. The Buick Encore GX is a sporty SUV that strikes a distinctively athletic tone. The Envision has a suite of 6 advanced safety and driver assistance technologies that come standard. The GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain trucks are on the lot now at Tasca Buick GMC. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com to see their entire inventory of new and used cars. Tasca Buick GMC, Fortin Drive, Woonsocket, is open 7 days a week.
If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary. With meats so good, your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats offers weekly specials. This week through June 12th, Michael's has a 95% extra lean ground beef in a 5-pound bag for $5.75 a pound. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreen parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Seabra Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Michael's Meats. Youth leagues and high schools. It's trophy and award season. And when you need to crown your champions and award your MVP, B&M Printing Trophies and Signs is where you should turn. B&M Printing, Trophies and Signs, in business since 1982. Owner Carmel Therian offers much more than trophies. They're experts in banners, yard signs, flags, and they'll handle all your printing needs as well. Open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 5:30. B&M has pickup and delivery service available. To see everything that B&M Printing, Trophies and Signs has to offer, go to bmprintingweb.com or stop by 1300 Mendon Road in Cumberland, across from the historic St. Joseph's Church.
Featuring traditional dishes from Mexico to your table is Bandito's Mexican Restaurant, 2120 Diamond Hill Road in Woonsocket. Bandito's Mexican Restaurant is your go-to place for tacos, burritos, tequila, margaritas, and more. So today, when you're wondering where to get the best Mexican food in Woonsocket, remember Bandito's Mexican Restaurant. Bandito's, with locations on Broad Street in Cumberland, Park Street in Attleboro, and soon in Pawtucket, is open daily at 12 in Woonsocket.
ON Radio.
And welcome back to 1240 AM, 99.5 FM, WOON, Kevin's Sports Show. I am joined by Steve Napolillo, the Providence College Athletic Director. Welcome back, Steve. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, Steve, I a quick question for you. Do you happen to know Doris Burke? Have you met her?
Of course, yeah. Doris is a close friend, and, we would just text and just, congratulations to her on being the first woman ever to do a NBA Finals game, and she, as many people say, is the GOAT. So great Friar, and just has achieved incredible success.
Yeah, it's incredible. For those that don't know, Doris Burke, Providence College alum, and on your record books, when she played there back in the 80s and early 90s, it is now the first women NBA play-by-play commentator, and a great career. Steve, we do have a caller on the line. We'll take a call. Is that okay with you?
Go right ahead.
All right. Hello, you're live on ON Radio. To whom am I talking to?
Hey, good morning, Kevin. This is Marty from Attleboro. How are you?
Good, Marty. How about yourself? You're on the line with Steve Napolillo from Providence College.
Perfect. Good morning, Steve. Congratulations on all the good things going down there at PC. Wanted to ask your take about what should be some great news coming for the university, and that Devin Carter is projected to be an NBA lottery pick. Didn't know if you could say a few things about Devin and, what his ascension and maturation could mean for the program. Because I really think it's a great sign. Providence is going to be in the news on draft night. And, looking forward to that for him and for the program.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. Really, really excited. I was able to get close to Devin and his dad. And I think it's, as you saw this year, to see how Devin became one of the best players in the country under Coach English was really exciting for all of us. And anytime, especially for college basketball, you're able to have your program on the national stage of the NBA draft, just says a lot about what we are as a program, as an institution, and just really excited for the student athlete. Devin's worked his whole life for this opportunity, and to see how he's been doing at the Combine, and I can't wait. It's going to be a special night for him, his family, for Providence College, and just really, really happy for him. And it's a great sign also, as I meet with potential recruits, they see what he can accomplish at PC and under Coach English. So, as you said, Marty, it's a really, really exciting time in Friartown.
It sure is. And then on the flip side, if you could talk a minute, maybe on the, well, I was shocked by it, the news that out of the Big East, Coach Hurley may be moving across the continent to take on a massive role with the Lakers in the NBA. Does that make any waves down there on Federal Hill?
Well, I mean, first off, is if you're reading what I'm reading, if someone offered me $100 million, I'd have to really look at it as seriously as well. So it's as I tell my friends who call me, Coach Hurley, I have nothing but respect what he's accomplished, to win 2 consecutive national championships in the best conference in the country. He deserves to consider any opportunity that comes. Obviously, he's done an amazing job in the Big East Conference, and it'll be interesting. As long as UConn doesn't go after Coach English.
That was my next question, Steve.
Yeah. But, in these jobs is what I tell everybody. I got to be prepared for everything. So nothing surprises me. Nothing takes me off. But it'll be an interesting 2 days to see what he decides. I know UConn has some great assistants that have been going for jobs. So there's still a lot of moving parts there. But it's a great job. UConn has become probably one of the best jobs in the country. When people talk to me about UConn, I said, hey, listen, I want to make Providence into UConn. Think about it. They've won 6 national titles in the last 25 years, the most out of any college in the country. It's really, really special.
And on another note, too, UConn's still in the Super Regionals, the Sweet 16 for college baseball right now. The only New England team still standing in the College Baseball World Series.
Yeah, they got crushed last night.
They did, 24-4.
It is double elimination, so they're going to go back at it at 11, and I'll probably pop that on. But thanks for taking my questions. Have a good weekend.
Marty, thank you so much for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Marty. Thanks for supporting the Friars.
All right, that was Marty from Attleboro. Just switch topics really quick. I wanted to touch on Caitlin Clark with you, Steve. And you mentioned that you think the women's basketball program is ready to burst under Coach Bath and one Alumni Hall where they play. Such a great place to watch a game loud in there. Do you see a Caitlin Clark type effect on the attendance or potential attendance at women's basketball, meaning is there more interest in women's basketball in general at the college level because of her?
No doubt. I mean, it's been a seismic change over the last, I think, 6 months especially. And I think it's great for the game. We've seen ticket sales triple just at Providence College. Obviously, I think fans and people want to see a winning product. So I think that's on us, but I think what she's done for the game has been phenomenal. I think it's really exciting, and hopefully it's here to stay. So I think, as you see in the WNBA, I was able to go to her first game at Mohegan Sun and just to see the excitement and all the young kids. I think it's a great time for women's sports and especially women's basketball.
Yeah, it really is. It's almost like a rebirth. I mean, you had your Cheryl Miller, Cheryl Swoops back in the day, Lisa Miller. This was almost like 2.0. It's like they launched it, and then there's that kind of that gap, and it seems like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, of course, coming in with her have there's a vibe now in the WNBA, sometimes for maybe not the right reasons with what happened this past week with the hard fouls and everything. But like you mentioned, the attendance at the game, the kids, not just girls either, the boys, the men that are enjoying the game. It's really great to see. And I really do hope it translates to the women's game on the PC campus as well.
Well, I think sports and us as sports fans, Kevin, are unique because you have sports where I always say we grew up in a business of minor league baseball where it really was about the experience, come have an amazing time. Not many people got wed to wins and losses. For many of the high-profile sports now, is if you don't win, people lose their attention span quick. So I think that's really a huge conversation piece a lot of people haven't really attacked is just as you've seen. It doesn't matter, Kev, if you're talking about the Patriots, Red Sox, Yankees, Providence College men's basketball. A lot of those sports, if you don't win, people will tune out quick. So it'll be interesting to see the staying power. I think it's great for women's basketball, but I think at our level is you have to put a winning product on the court for people to really have long-term sustainability of watching and coming to the games.
No, absolutely. So, Steve, in the few minutes that we do have remaining, what are you looking forward to? What's coming up this next as you close out 1 year? About 2 weeks ago? You're already looking ahead to next year, and you probably have next year all planned. What's big on the horizon at Providence College in the upcoming academic year?
Yeah, I mean, Kev, as you read in the news and see, our biggest challenge is, right now is making sure we're doing everything it takes to generate the significant funds for name, image, and likeness. We have a great team. I have incredible teammates that we're really out there making sure that we're doing the things to get the support necessary for our coaches. Our strategic plan, as I said, men's basketball tickets are at an all-time high, women's basketball, men's ice hockey. But we have a ton of other great programs, Kev. Our soccer programs. Tonight, really excited. Two of our great runners are competing in Oregon for national championships, Kimberly May and Shannon Flockhart, at 5 o'clock on ESPN under the great Ray Tracy, one of the greatest coaches in history in the country. So, excited for that. We have a chance to win an NCAA champion, today. And there's always things going on, Kevin. It's a pretty cool opportunity. There's every day I never worry about going in and saying, what am I going to do? There's thousands of things you got to attack. But my biggest thing is just thank you to all the love, passion, support, generosity. We're really blessed to have the greatest fans in the country. People live and die for the Friars, and I absolutely love it. Everywhere we go, is when I have the Friar logo on, people yell and "Go Friars" and want to talk about it. So it really is special.
It is amazing, the culture at the AMP for Providence College men's basketball games. I mean, I've heard more than one announcer call it the best college atmosphere in the country, which is incredible when you think of Duke, North Carolina, and the history of those programs. I mean, Providence College has a history, but just to hear that the AMP is the best best college atmosphere in the country, that's incredible, Steve. That's a tribute to you and your staff and the basketball coaches and the players. I mean, congratulations on that. That is great.
Well, I mean, congratulations to this community, this state for rallying around. Even in a coaching change, we sold out every game at the AMP. Think about that. That's pretty amazing to itself, and it just speaks for the love and passion people have for the Friars. That's what I love. It means so much to so many people. That's the greatest part of the job, is that so many families, legacies, it's grandparents, kids, grandchildren. It's been passed on. People who didn't even go to Providence College absolutely love it, live for it, and it really, really is something special.
Yeah, one of the things I did right, Steve, is my kids are Providence College fans, and I live in Mass now. So it's one thing I did right as a parent, is that they are PC basketball fans. So
I love it. I appreciate that, Kevin.
Last question. What prediction on the Celtics series?
I have a lot of rooting interest. Obviously, at home as a Celtics fan with Rick Gotham, prior president of the Celtics. I'm very close to God Shamgod. He's one of the assistant coaches for the Dallas Mavericks. But after the other night, you got to believe the Celtics definitely have the advantage and should win this. It'll be interesting. I think Game 2 will really dictate of where this is going. If the Celtics come out and do what they did the other night, I think the Mavericks are going to have a tough time staying with it. So I think Game 2 will be a very interesting game for us to see where we think the rest of the series will go.
And what a spark by Kristaps Porzingis in just 21 minutes to do what he did last game. I mean, if there was ever an MVP of that game, he was it, coming off the bench.
Well, think about the storylines. That's what makes sports so great, Ken. If you think about with Porzingis, he came from the Mavericks. You have Kyrie Irving, who obviously there's no love lost between him and the Boston fans. So there's just so many unique. My 11-year-old son loves the Celtics, but he loves Luka Doncic.
Yep.
I think a lot of kids love to watch him play. He's a really special player.
He really is.
The Celtics. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I love Derek White. I think Derek White's an incredible story for every kid out there. People don't realize he was supposed to go play at Johnson and Wales.
Yes.
When he first was deciding to go to school. Think about that story. Goes to a Division II school in Colorado. Ends up getting picked up at Colorado. Then now he's one of the main role players in all the NBA. He does it all. So it's just I love watching stories like that because it gives young boys and girls out there to say, hey, continue to work hard and anything is possible.
Absolutely. No, that's a great point. I appreciate that point. We are up against the clock. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Providence College Athletic Director Steve Napolillo. Steve, thank you again so much for joining us here on WOON. Hope to do this again in the future.
Yeah, thanks for your support, and thank you to all the Friar fans out there. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, Steve. Thanks again.
Take care.
And you were listening to Steve Napolillo from Providence College, the athletic director. And we will be back on WOON. On the other side, we want to take your calls at 401-766-1240. What's on your mind on WOON? Kevin's Sports Show. We'll be back right after this.
ON Radio. Tabitha Rose Photography is the photographer for an amazing experience. Hey, if it's time for your youth leagues, high school, or college team pictures, go to the website trosephoto.com, where you can book a private, semi-private, or whole team media day experience at Tabitha Rose Photography. In addition to the media experience for your player, Tabitha also specializes in lifestyle, studio, seniors, engagements, and boudoir sessions. trosephoto.com is the web destination for you, and please be sure to click on the Media Experience tab and be wowed by Tabitha Rose Photography.
Since 1948, their motto has been to give every customer the very best in quality service as well as attention to detail. And that promise continues today at Michaud's Auto Body, a modern 5-stall facility with the latest in technology. Michaud's Auto Body knows that following an accident, you need reassurance about the entire process, including reports, insurance, rentals, and more. Their promise is to give each person all that they are paying for, and then some. Michaud's Auto Body on Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
To avoid long waiting periods in hospital emergency rooms, your option is North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, where you'll be seen by a board-certified physician in a comfortable and restful setting. Most importantly, you'll have a diagnosis and information about your medical discomfort. In other words, peace of mind. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, across from the Lincoln Mall. You do have a choice. This ON AM and FM forecast brought to you by Design Wood Floors in Blackstone. Design Wood Floors is dedicated to the fine art of designing and installing unique wood floors. For questions or ideas about wood floors, call Design Wood Floors at 617-967-4071. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 76 degrees and a breeze from the west. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low of 58. Sunday, a cloudy day, high of 72. 70% chance of showers, up to a quarter of an inch of rain is possible Sunday. Monday, mostly sunny skies and 76. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 76 again. Wednesday, sunshine with a high of 80, calm wind. Thursday, mostly sunny and 84. And on Friday, mostly sunny, high of 85.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have 71.6 degrees. And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show here on WOO and 99.5 FM, 1240 AM and OneSocketRadio.com. We once again thank Steve Napolillo for joining us, the Providence College Athletic Director, in the first half hour of the show. Great information from Steve, and we do hope to do that again. We're opening up, the phone lines are wide open, 766-1240, 401, 766-1240. We invite your calls. What do you want to talk about? Off the top of my head, Boston Celtics. Game 2 coming up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Game 1, mentioned it briefly with Steve right at the end of his segment. Kristaps Porzingis, not the easiest name for me to say this early in the morning. 20 points off the bench on 8 of 13 shooting in 21 minutes. 6 rebounds to go along with that. What are your thoughts on this series? I've heard some people say sweep or gentleman's sweep in 5. I'm thinking more of a 6 games. Game 2, like Steve mentioned, is going to be tough. Tonight, Dallas has to answer the bell. Where I think the Celtics have the advantage is I think they are a deeper team. You go back to game 1 right away. You got, Jason Tatum. He had 16 points at 6 of 16 shooting. And you had Jaylen Brown, who had 22 points. But, again, Al Horford, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Sam Hauser shot 3 for 4 for 8 points in his 16 minutes. Dallas answer of Luka Doncic, 30 points on 12 of 26 shooting. Kyrie Irving, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 36 minutes. Luka played 38 minutes. And Kyrie only shot 6 of 19 from the floor as the Celtics fans kind of serenaded, if you will, Kyrie Irving with a whole host of, maybe not insults, but a lot of boos. I'm sure there were some insults thrown his way. Tough in Boston when you promise to be back next year and then leave. And you say that to a whole audience full of people, about 15,000 people. He mentioned that too. PJ Washington for Dallas as well, 14 points, 8 rebounds in 36 minutes, 5 of 11 shooting. But that was really it for Dallas. That's all who was there. It's the Kyrie Luka show. You got PJ Washington as well chiming in. I really think maybe it's game one overreaction on my part, but I think the Celtics are just too strong. They're just a little bit too deep. They go about 6-7 players deep on the bench. They're all getting significant minutes, and they're all stepping up, and they're playing their role. The ball movement the other night by the Celtics was incredible. Very unselfish play, and they were draining their shots. Dallas did make a nice little run for them. They cut the lead down all the way down to 8 in the third quarter. They came out. They had motivated to start the third quarter. Celtics finally had an answer and then went on. Now I'm trying to think now about a 24-5 run there after Dallas had cut the lead down to 8. What are your thoughts? 401-766-1240. Over with the Red Sox. Red Sox lost last night 7-2. They broke. Chicago White Sox had a 14-game losing streak last night, broken last night. So the MLB record of 21, I guess, never really in doubt. But always tough to give a team their first win after losing 14 consecutive games. An interesting story from the Red Sox, in case you missed it. There's a player on the team just has 8 at-bats now in a year. His name's Jamie Westbrook. Call it the old feel-good story. 11-year minor league baseball player. Gets a chance to pinch hit the other day. Flew out when he pinch hit. Got his first hit the next night, and then his first home run. Major league home run the night after that. Jamie Westbrook, an 11-year minor league veteran, getting his due with the Boston Red Sox. What a special moment. His family was there as well. Really, really cool for him. But the Red Sox, John Henry, raised some eyebrows this week. He spoke to the Financial News newspaper out of New York and basically referred to the Red Sox as an asset that he is not willing to sell. As a Boston fan myself, as imagine most of you are, what are your thoughts on this? A lot of people want to see John Henry, Tom Warner, et al. Sell the team to local ownership that actually cares about the team. They're so divested in their partnerships. The Red Sox are. They own the Pittsburgh Penguins, the hockey team. They're out in the English Premier League. They got the racing group. There's rumors of them wanting to buy a football team. They're just not invested in the Boston Red Sox and their fans. All they care about is the almighty dollar, and it's affecting their attendance this year. The Savannah Bananas are in town right now for today's game at 7:00. And I thought I'd never say this. This is the first game of the season at Fenway Park that is sold out tonight. And it's the Savannah Bananas, which is, for those that don't know who they are, in essence, the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. One of the interesting rules that they play a real game. Their opponents, I'm not sure who they are, if they're college players or minor leaguers, but they play a real baseball game. And they make a lot of fun things going on. One of the main rules there, if you hit a foul ball into the crowd and the crowd catches it, you are out. So once again, we invite your calls, 401-766-1240 and OneSocketRadio.com, WOON 99.5 FM. A nice story from the Boston Red Sox emerging this year. Tanner Houck, right now on the year, 6-5. So that's not necessarily impressive. What is impressive for Tanner Houck? 1.91 ERA on the season, places in 5th in the league in pitching right now. He leads the major leagues in innings pitched with 85. He has 84 strikeouts on the season and a 0.92 whip, walks and hits divided by innings pitched. Anything below 1 is absolutely incredible. So through the first, over a third of the season now, Tanner Houck is just, ripping it up for the Red Sox and really emerging into the pitcher that many, many people thought he would be when he first came up. So if you have any thoughts on the Red Sox or Tanner Houck, I'd like to hear them as well. Tonight we have Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton Oilers at the Florida Panthers. The interesting tidbit about this game, this series now breaks the record for most miles between cities for two opponents. The previous record was when the Bruins played the Canucks back in 2011. 2,543 miles separate Edmonton and Sunrise, Florida, where Game 1 will be tonight. Should be a very interesting series. Hockey's big up here in Woonsocket in this area. So it should be a real interesting series. It looks like Edmonton has finally settled in on a goalie in Stuart Skinner. And Florida, as you Bruins fans know, will be sending Sergei Bobrovsky. All eyes will be on Connor McDavid. Only has 3 playoff goals so far this year, but he is the guy that all of Canada is looking towards. Canada as a country has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993 when the Montreal Canadiens last did it. The Edmonton Oilers themselves have not won since 1990. For Florida Panthers, they're looking for their first Stanley Cup championship. They've been 3 other times. They went back in 2012, 2016, and 2020. They are looking for their first NHL Stanley Cup championship. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we'll finish up the final segment of Kevin's Sports Show on 99.5 FM 1240 AM, OneSocketRadio.com. We'll be back right after this.
ON Radio.
The latest Buick and GMC models, as well as used cars, trucks, and SUVs, can be found at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. The Buick Encore GX is a sporty SUV that strikes a distinctively athletic tone. The Envision has a suite of 6 advanced safety and driver assistance technologies that come standard. The GMC Sierra 1500, Acadia, and Terrain trucks are on the lot now at Tasca Buick GMC. Visit TascaBuickGMC.com to see their entire inventory of new and used cars. Tasca Buick GMC, Fortin Drive, Woonsocket is open 7 days a week.
If your garage door needs replacing because of wear, performance, or appearance, think of Woonsocket Door Sales, your complete overhead door facility for installation and maintenance, including framework repair and security. Woonsocket Door Sales features important information about security on their website. For attached garages, be safe with a good deadbolt lock or door monitor. And remember, detached garages often contain valuable tools and recreation equipment. Woonsocket Door Sales since 1935. 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland. 767-3448.
State Line Service and Tire Center is a full-service vehicle maintenance and repair center, including computerized engine analysis, wheel alignment, emission testing, exhaust, and more. Their ASE-certified technicians use only quality parts to maintain your manufacturer's warranty. Regular maintenance is important. Remember to check your tires for pressure and wear. If you need tires, State Line will shop for you to get the best possible price, and they welcome any questions you may have about maintaining your vehicle. State Line Service and Tire Center at 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket at the City Line. 765-0146.
Welcome to summer, and John Moran of AJ Moran Incorporated says now is the time to get those projects done that you've been putting off. Masonry, patios, walkways, hardscape, and landscape. AJ Moran will work with you to create the design that you want. Your web destination to contact AJ Moran Incorporated is ajmoraninc.com or search AJ Moran Incorporated on Facebook. AJ Moran Incorporated has been servicing Massachusetts and Rhode Island for more than 30 years. Contact John Moran at 781-267-6827. 781-267-6827. AJ Moran Incorporated.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
And welcome back to Kevin's Sports Show here on WOON 99.5 FM, 1240 AM. Once again, we'd like to thank Steve Napolillo from Providence College, athletic director, joining us in our first segment. As we change topics here, as we welcome your phone calls, 401-766-1240. Lines are open. Big scandal. Probably not as big as it could have been in Major League Baseball. The name Tucupita Marcano, banned for life from Major League Baseball player and from being a player again. Who is he, you ask? He was a journeyman minor leaguer in the Padres system, has had some injuries, basically like a 230 hitter his career, just got banned for gambling more than $150,000 on baseball. Now listen to this. 87,000 were specific to Major League Baseball bets. He made 25 bets that included games that he was a Pittsburgh Pirate at the time. The only thing I guess he did right is that he did not play in those games where he made those 25 bets. So a journeyman player, but the big question is why? What are you doing? The gambling, yes, it's legal. It's legal here in Rhode Island. It's legal next door in Connecticut, in Massachusetts. The sports gambling, but to put your career, to put your Major League Baseball pensions on the line by getting banned for life, you just have to be smarter than that. There were 4 other minor league players that were suspended for a year. One of those players, his name escapes me right now, he only bet $99 in change and lost $25 out of it. And now he loses his career, loses a year of his career at the minor league level. Baseball is not going to wait for him or his minor league friends that all got suspended for a year. One of the other players that got suspended for a year, I don't mean to laugh, but why not? I'm here. He gambled $492. He lost $472. I mean, he's just not a good gambler. So if you have any thoughts on that or anything else, feel free to call in 766-1240, 766-1240. But to completely lose your livelihood, and when their bans are up, after a year, what teams are going to take a chance on them? They may have lost not only their career, but potential front office jobs, potential managing jobs, coaching jobs. There's so many different jobs available in sports at all levels. And to have this on your record, gambling, I mean, it goes all the way back to the 1919 Black Sox scandal. I mean, this is a big issue. Yes, it's in your face all the time, but you have got to refrain from gambling in the sport. You're losing your livelihood. So many ex-players go into broadcasting. That's not an option now for them either as well. So it's a very interesting story. If you have any thoughts on that, feel free to call 766-1240. I did ask Steve his prediction on the series. He didn't actually give one, did he? He said it would be very interesting to see how Dallas responds to in Game 2. Did anyone catch Tristan Casas's prediction of the Boston Red Sox? Tristan Casas said, and I quote, "I don't think the Celtics are very deep. I predict Dallas will sweep." Ooh, Tristan, for a couple of reasons here. One, Celtics are a deeper team, in my opinion. They won 64 games, I believe it was, this year. Two, you're playing for Boston, and you're predicting that the number 1 seed in the NBA is going down in a 4-game sweep. Obviously, he was proven wrong already. It will not be a sweep, but it might be a good thing that he's on the injured list. By the time he comes back, people will have forgotten about his prediction. At least I'm sure he's hopeful of that. changing topics as well. Locally, Woonsocket High School, a couple of things happened. First of all, congratulations to all the Woonsocket High School graduates from last night. But two juniors at Woonsocket High School, Adelaide Karen and Isabella Piet, they both won states last week with personal bests last Saturday, with Karen winning in the hammer and Piet on her 17th birthday winning in the discus. Karen threw 176 feet, the hammer. And just to put that in perspective, runner-up was in second place with 14 feet less than her. So she destroyed her competition. Piet threw the discus 116 feet 1 inch, and that was over 2 feet further than her runner-up. Because of their accomplishments in states last week, they now head up to University of New Hampshire in Durham, New Hampshire, to participate in the 77th annual New England Championships meet. So congratulations, Woonsocket owns Adelaide Karen and Isabel Piet. Incredible accomplishments with personal bests and just really putting away their competition. Both just juniors, looking very, very bright futures ahead. And one of the last topics I just kind of want to touch on, Caitlin Clark. I touched on it a bit with Steve before. The effect that she's having on the WNBA, the effect that she's having on attendance at her games, the effect that she's having on TV, television ratings for her games, and television ratings are up for the WNBA, not just on her games, which are skyrocketing, but the league is up. Attendance at WNBA games, again, for her games, are sold out. The league, yes, they're not doing as well as the games that she plays in, but attendance at the other arenas is also up. She's having a trickle-down effect on the league. Mentioned briefly about Cheryl Swoops and Lisa Leslie and Cheryl Miller earlier, kind of like, as they launched WNBA, many years ago, 1.0, this era now, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming into the league, 2.0, really, it's a great opportunity for women's sports, and to see some of the actions of some of the WNBA players, taking the hard fouls, the cheap shots. I don't think anybody is against playing the game hard fouls. Many of us grew up, with the Larry Bird era of the Celtics, playing the bad boy, Detroit Pistons, hard fouls there against Bill Lambert, and Kurt Rambis with the Lakers being taken down by a clothesline by Kevin McHale. Nobody's against the physical nature of the game. It's the cheap shots, it's the bad mouthing, it's the overall jealousy. Feel free to call in if you do have a comment about Caitlin Clark or anything else. 401-766-1240. It's incredible what Caitlin Clark has done. And a lot of people just say, people have brought in race, people have brought in that she has that she's straight, and that's the reason why she's so popular. I'd like to bring in just a slightly different take on this. She set the record for most points ever. You have in college, you have a record-breaking star coming out of college, ready to make an impact in the NBA, has done more for the WNBA already in a short period of time. The players are now flying chartered flights instead of commercial flights. Everything's just a little bit more comfortable, and they're playing in front of these packed houses. It's, I only played through high school sports, but I can only imagine how great it must be to play in front of a packed house, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 people, to see the sport rise the way it has. It's incredible. And it just seems like some petty jealousy. She didn't just come into the league. They didn't just pluck her out of thin air and say, okay, you're going to be the face of the WNBA. She had a stellar 4-year career in college, where she set all sorts of records, records that may stand for a very, very long time. you got to give her props and support her. You don't have to like her, but support the game. And her teammates, I think, need to do a better job of coming to her defense as well. Maybe in press conferences, be a teammate for her, and show that she's got the support. Because I can only imagine the pressure that she must feel as the face of the WNBA, knowing that, all the little kids, girls especially, but girls and boys will look into her. She has to be a role model. She has to say the right thing. She doesn't always do the right thing herself on the court. She's been teed up a few times this year, but she's taken the high road in the press conferences afterwards, saying it's a part of the game. So, good for her. I think the WNBA should be, they don't have to bow to her, but, maybe appreciate a little bit of what she has done and maybe work with her to elevate, to continue to elevate the league to where people want to watch the WNBA. Just my thoughts on that. And as we wrap up the show, Danny Hurley going to Los Angeles Lakers, not official yet. If he does, my big question, we can tackle this in future weeks when we see where he lands. Will he follow in the footsteps of Rick Pitino and John Calipari? Or will he be a little bit more like Brad Stevens? Yes, Brad Stevens took a front office job with the Celtics, but Brad Stevens was really only one of two successful college coaches making the jump to the NBA. We're just about out of time. Join us next week. We got a very special show next week. We have 3 interview segments lined up. We have Mount St. Charles Academy, Adelard Arena General Manager Matt Campanelli. We'll also have Worcester Red Sox Director of Public Relations Bill Wamless on for an interview. And finally, I meant to mention this to Steve and I forgot, we're going to have an author, Rich Corin, who authored the new book, Road to Glory, the Providence College basketball story. Rich has been a season ticket holder or fan since 1972. He wrote what is now the definitive history of Providence College basketball from the beginning up to and including this year. Rich is the official scorer for the Providence College men's basketball team at the AMP for the last 13 years, and he'll be joining us next week. We have 3 great, interesting interviews lined up on next week's Kevin Sports Show live on 99.5 FM, 1240 AM, OneSocketRadio.com. Thank you all very much for listening. We'll tune in again next week. Have a great day and a great weekend, everybody.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue